Good morning, my name is Victoria. It's 2nd of November 2023 and you are watching Precious Flicks Entertainment TV. Here is the news update for today. Serbia to hold snap elections as president calls for country to be united. President Aleksandar Vučić announced December polls amid mounting political pressure from domestic critics in EU. Serbia will hold a snap election next month after President Aleksandar Vučić dissolved parliament in the face of political pressure at home and from the European Union. The parliamentary vote and parallel local elections will be held on December 17, less than 2 years after the victory of the Serbian Progressive Party at the polls. We live in times that are difficult for the whole world, in times of global challenges, wars and conflicts, when it is necessary that we are all united in preserving vital national and state interests of the Republic of Serbia, Vučić said during an announcement on live television on Wednesday. Vučić, who is in his second term as president, faces growing criticism from the political opposition and the greater public over back-to-back shootings in May that killed 18 people. The president and his party, which has led Serbia since 2012, have been accused by protesters of promoting a culture of violence while cracking down on media and electoral freedom. At the time of the protests, several pro-EU parties said the government had ignored protesters' demands and called for new elections. Serbia is in a deep political and social crisis, they said. The demands of those who have been protesting for months were ignored. We need responsible people in politics who will solve problems instead of ignoring them. Vučić denies the accusations, but will have to convince voters that he is serious about change. Also in need of convincing is Brussels as Serbia makes a play for EU membership. To secure entry into the 27-member bloc, it must follow the EU's rules, which include sanctioning Russia for its invasion of Ukraine, tackling organized crime and corruption, and strengthening the rule of law and human rights. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier apologized for colonial-era killings in Tanzania during Germany's rule and vowed to raise awareness of the atrocities in his country, in a step towards communal healing of the bloody past. I would like to ask for forgiveness for what Germans did to your ancestors here, Steinmeier said during a visit to the Maji Maji Museum in the southern Tanzanian city of Songea. I want to assure you that we Germans will search with you for answers to the unanswered questions that give you no peace. Tanzania suffered under German colonial rule for decades before and after the start of the 20th century, and saw one of the region's deadliest uprisings from 1905 to 1907. During the revolt, known as the Maji Maji Rebellion, between 200,000 and 300,000 indigenous people were murdered, as German troops systematically wiped out villages and fields, experts say. In 2017, Tanzania's then government said it was mulling legal action to seek compensation from Germany for the people who were starved, tortured, and killed by its forces. Single people will be able to get a higher mortgage than they currently can, including those with a student debt, Housing Minister Hugo de Jong has confirmed. Singles earning at least €28,000 a year will be able to borrow an additional €16,000 from 2024, so that more possible new homes are open to them, de Jong said. According to Family Spending Institute NIBUD, singles have lower costs than couples, which is why they should be able to borrow a little more. Earnings are also going up because of high inflation. Former students too will have more leeway to expand their borrowing because their current debt, not the total sum, will be the starting point for calculations, NIBUD said. The institute has also drawn up new guidelines for energy-efficient homes, and people borrowing to buy a house with a high-energy label will also be able to borrow more from next year. The extra loan will begin at €5,000 for energy labels D and C, rising to €50,000 for people buying a home with an A+++ label and a 10-year energy performance guarantee. Home hunters will also be able to borrow more to pay for energy efficiency improvements. Nevertheless, the increase in borrowing capacity will not help people on an average salary of €41,000 who still face a maximum mortgage of around €160,000. The average house price is currently around €400,000. More than half the people looking for a new place to buy or rent are running into difficulty because of the lack of choice, high prices, or because what is on offer is unsuitable for their needs, according to research by housing association umbrella group EDS. The housing crisis must be a top priority for the next cabinet, said EDS director Martin van Rijn. The cabinet estimates the shortage of homes in the Netherlands to be around 390,000 and aims to build 900,000 by the turn of the decade. But high costs, expensive land, the nitrogen crisis and government plans to expand rent controls have led developers to scrap or delay plans. Some 70% of people who took part in the survey said political party standpoints on housing are essential in their choice of who to vote for, particularly those under the age of 40. Meanwhile, research by Home Buyers Lobby Group VO has found that around half the people who have bought an apartment are disappointed with the quality of the homeowners association running their property. And 1 in 10 say the problems with the VV are so complex that they wish they had not bought the property in the first place. Fewer people caught defrauding their insurance company. The number of people caught practicing insurance fraud fell by 15% last year to 10,000, according to new figures from insurers organization VVV. Detecting fraud saved insurance companies €80 million last year, which, says the VVV's director, means clients benefit from reduced premiums. Nevertheless, it is still too early to talk about a turnaround, the organization said. Eventually, we will see if the years of work on prevention and detection have actually paid off. 1 in 3 investigations into potential fraud last year proved to be justified, the highest success rate in 7 years. In 2021, 25% of investigations turned up fraud, the association's figures show. Flights and ferries cancelled as Storm Ciarán hits Dutch coast. The NME Weather Bureau has increased its warning about Storm Ciarán in coastal regions from yellow to amber, saying winds of up to 110 km per hour could hit early afternoon on Thursday. Zeeland will be the first to feel the brunt of the storm, followed by Zuid-Holland, Noord-Holland and the western part of the Wadden Sea, the NME said. Code yellow remains in force for the rest of the country, apart from Groningen, Overijssel and Drenthe. The storm has already caused problems in France and Britain, mainly in Devon and Cornwall on the south coast, bringing down trees and leading to localized flooding. According to Le Monde, gusts of wind traveling at 193 km per hour have been recorded in French seaside town Plougonville in Brittany. At least one person has been killed. KLM has cancelled all early afternoon flights, and some other flights from Rotterdam Airport are also being scrapped. Schiphol Airport has urged travelers to check with their airlines for further cancellations. Dutch railway company NS has reduced services in Zeeland as a precaution, and some ferry services to the islands of Lilland and Terschelling have also been cancelled. The AMP motoring organization said on Wednesday that people should work from home if possible, because the evening rush hour in particular may be seriously affected by the wind and heavy rain. The wind will die down in the evening, the NME said. The population of the Netherlands grew to 17.9 million in the first 9 months of this year, but the number of deaths outstripped the number of births. Just 123,400 children were born between January and the end of September, and that is down 3,400 from a year ago. But 124,300 people died, meaning the population, excluding immigration, actually went down, and that is exceptional, the CBS said. The birth rate has been declining in the Netherlands since 2010. Population growth was down entirely to immigration, which totaled 111,600 during the period. That is down 76,400 on the same period in 2022, when 85,500 Ukrainians came to the Netherlands following the Russian invasion. However, the CBS said, immigration is down across all population groups, with the number of Europeans arriving down by 5,400 and 2,000 fewer new arrivals from Asia. What's all the fuss about immigration in the Netherlands? Inburgering with DN, what kind of foreigner are you? Excluding 19,000 new arrivals from Ukraine, The biggest population groups to move to the Netherlands in the first 9 months came from Syria, 13,000, Turkey, 8,400, India, 6,700, and Poland, 6,600. Some 3,300 British nationals also moved here. That will be all for today. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.